Hello YouTube. I was broadcasting not too long ago, but my for some reason my connection just completely dropped. I really apologise for that. Not my fault, but these things happen. Just before my connection dropped, I was saying that I've caught some really big fish in this area, even though it's such a small area. And so look at that, that's an 18-pound 5-ounce common. I caught him pretty much in this little goldfish bowl at the end. I've caught the biggest fish in the game in this swim. I've caught the second biggest fish on this lake, which is cheetah. I've caught that 7 times. Most of the time it was in this swim. I think I caught it twice on other swims, but on this swim it just can't get away. No matter what the fish is, no matter how big the fish is, they just can't get out of this little area. Like I've said before, some might call that cheating. If you want to call that cheating, then fair enough. Then I'm a cheat. But I don't see it like that. I think it's just part of the game. There is actually a way on this lake to get under the water and go and have a walk around and have a look at the fish. I'm not going to show you how to do it. I know how to do it, I've done it before. I might do a video where I'm actually under the water and I can show you around. But a lot of people say that, like, on this lake the baits move around a little bit too much. Once you get under the water, you'll understand why. Because there's a lot of ridges and bumps and troughs and peaks in this lake, on the lake bed. It's a very deep lake. I mean, just here, in this tiny little, like I called it, a goldfish bowl, I'm 6.5 feet deep. I think in some points it gets to around 40 feet deep. Big cattail there, going down towards my bait, but it didn't take it. This is what I like about the swim. You see the catfish tails sort of sticking out of the water, and you see them go down towards your bait. You don't necessarily see them take it because the water's a bit murky, and like I say, it's 6.5 feet deep. But you see them lurking about in your swim. You see the tails sticking up. And you also hear them splashing about as well. I don't know if you heard that. See, there was a really big tail just in front of me just now, that just cut through the water. That was a catfish that just appeared to the right. I'm sure there'll be another one soon. Yeah, there was another tail just there, but I don't want to just see tails, I want to see some fish. See, this is what this lake can be like sometimes. You sit there for ages and don't catch a fish, and then all of a sudden something massive will come along. See, a big catfish tail just swam down towards my bait. I've had sessions on this lake where I've caught 7 or 8 boss fish, and that's no exaggeration. But some of those have been the same boss fish 3 times. I don't know whether you count that as catching 7 or 8 boss fish if you catch the same boss fish 3 times in one session, but I'm counting it. Like I've previously mentioned, I caught cheetah, which is the 100-pound catfish. I've caught that one 7 times now. And I think that one I actually caught twice in the same session. The biggest fish that's in here is Megalodon, who's I can't remember whether he's 141 or 151 pounds, but he is a big dude. I've got a mate who caught him, it was either twice or 3 times in the same session, which is unbelievable, and he was in this exact spot that I am now, so you never know. I think if I don't get a fish soon, I need to change my setup a little bit, because I'm fishing on the gravel, but I think I'm using a silt rig. It doesn't really matter too much, to be honest, in this game. It matters in real life, of course, but in this game you can catch any fish on any rig. When it says like gravel rig, you don't necessarily have to fish it over a gravel bed. If you fish it over silt, you'll still catch fish with it. Although you've got a better chance fishing with a gravel rig on gravel. Excuse me. So I'm going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to put on a monster red boilie rather than the tiger knot. So I'm on a sinking bait now. I was on a pop-up tiger knot. Now I'm on a sink bait, and it's a boilie, so I might catch carp, but catfish will also take the boilies. I've actually caught plenty of catfish, to be honest, with the monster red. Nothing seems to be coming yet, though. I'm seeing plenty of activity. There was a few bubbles left to the right of my float just now. So that's an indication that there's fish feeding down there. There's always fish in this area. That looks like... Sorry, I just saw a catfish tail poking around in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. It looked like Mowgli. I know this because I've caught these fish a few times before. Mowgli looks like a miniature megalodon. When you see megalodon in your swim, you'll know it's him. Because it's a massive tail poking out. It pokes out about 4 feet out of the water because he's that much of a big fish. But Mowgli looks like a sort of miniature version of him. There's carp poking about in the water there as well. Yeah, so I've caught most of the boss fish out of this water. The only ones I haven't caught are the small fish, as in the roach, the tench and the bream. The only big fish I haven't caught out of here is a carp called Wedge, who I believe is a mirror carp. After that, I think it's roach, tench and bream. One of the roaches is called Clarence. I caught that one. But then there's about 4 or 5 other fish that I haven't caught, which are all smaller varieties. I just want to show you one of these big catfish, guys, because I know they're in here. I've caught them in this spot countless times. All I'm seeing now is carp, not because I think it's because I put a boilie on. Might need to switch back to the tiger nut. I know it'll still attract carp, but I think the cats really do prefer the tiger nut. Yeah, I'm changing it up. I'm going to go with the pop-up tiger nut, 20mm. Also, I'm using the crank rig with the 25-pound Corda Supernatural line. The reason I use the pop-up tiger nut rather than the sinking tiger nut is I've always believed the pop-up is a superior bait to a sinking bait, because a sinking bait can sink into the ground, and with me fishing over gravel there's going to be cracks in there that the bait can sink into. So over the gravel I'm using a pop-up bait. It has done well for me in the past, but at the moment there doesn't really seem to be any fish in the swim. Although I've just seen a couple of tails flicking about, so you never know. This is the disadvantage of just fishing one rod, I think. You don't get bites as frequently. And that was a big tail that just flipped past me. It wasn't Megalodon, I think it was one of the boss ghost carp that were in here. Scar or Smurfy. Well, we're seeing plenty of fish activity, just not catching any fish. Catfish just popped down there. There's got to be something coming soon, surely. That was a pretty big tail. I love watching the fish swim around in the water. See, there's a big catfish tail there just teasing me. Swam down towards me bait but not took it. If you get one of the big fish in this swim, with it only being 6.5 feet deep, some of these fish are actually sort of longer than that. Like Megalodon specifically. You actually see him sticking out of the water when he's feeding on the bottom in this area. Oh, am I into a catfish here? No, I'm into a carp. There was just a catfish sticking its tail out near it, I think. Put the tension up a little bit, see if we can get it in. It's definitely a carp. Calm down, mate. I don't know whether it's a boss or not. If it is, it's a smaller one. I don't think it's one of the big bosses. But it's... yeah, it's giving me a run around. It is a big fish, whatever it is. But I don't think it's a boss. There we go, it's in. No, I do think it's a boss now. I think it's one of the boss. Ghost carp. Look at that for a lump. Yeah, it's Smurfy. I've caught Smurfy before. I think this is the third time I've caught him. But yeah, I said it was a big fish. It's a 38-pound, 8-ounce ghost carp, which you don't get many of those. Right, I'm going to leave it there, guys, now that I've caught a boss fish. Well, that'll do. I'll be making another video soon, not today, but another day. I don't know when, but I'm off work for the next 18 days, so expect a few more of these. I will see you guys later.